What's going on, everybody? What's up? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday night. Welcome back to the channel, FACCIS Cinema. You already know who I am. I'm your boy, Fauci, Rotten Tomatoes uncertified critic. That's what I am, because I am not a Rotten Tomatoes critic. I don't have enough fan base to be a critic, but I'm here tonight. I was supposed to be doing my X watch-along, continuing along with my Summer Camp Slasher watch-along series with my boy Nick from the Lost River Drive-In. He asked if I could push it back, so I moved it back until next week. So tonight, I decided to do a little Friday the 13th ranking, but do it a little bit differently. I've seen a couple of these done on YouTube, and I really enjoyed watching the videos, so I figured why not do one myself and see how much fun it is to do, because I've seen the other videos and they're having a blast talking about them and doing them this way. So I wanted to rank the entire Friday the 13th franchise based on the critics from Rotten Tomatoes. And I know Rotten Tomatoes is a piece of doggy duty. I know it is, but I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to see what they had to say on that beautiful website, if you want to call it beautiful, but that's what we're going to do tonight. That's what I wanted to do. Got these ranked from 12 to 1. I'm excited to see where my favorites land. I mean, I already know because I've sorted them out on a piece of paper, so I know exactly where to go on tonight's stream. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think of the end result of these things once they're placed where they go, because these movies range in quality from amazing to some of the worst horror movies that there are. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Rotten Tomatoes critics actually rank these bad boys. And who knows? You know, it's a great franchise. It's a franchise that I revisit very often. Deep down in my heart of hearts, obviously, I am a Halloween guy, but it's not as fun of a franchise as Friday the 13th, you know? Shut your brain off, kick back, watch Jason go to camp and kill some kids and have some sex and drugs and drinking. All what makes a good Friday night here in the Fauci house. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I don't do drugs, but if I did, that's what it would be like. But I thought this was the perfect franchise to start this on and to see where it goes from here. You know, if this video does good or has good reception, you know, I'll jump into other franchises, of course. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, Child's Play, Scream, whatever. Whatever you guys want to see is what we're going to do. But I figured why not kick it off with Friday the 13th. It's summertime, first of all. We're going to 13th. Yeah, we're going to be getting a Friday the 13th coming up soon in September, I believe. So that's coming up. I probably should have waited to do this until then, but I've been itching to do this. I'm not one for big on pre-recorded content, so figured why not jump on here tonight and do this. And P.S. for everyone in the chat who is here, please let me know if I sound okay. My internet, I can see the little thing on the top corner and it keeps bouncing up and down. So I want to make sure that it's good, because if not, I will switch it over to my phone's internet. So please let me know. I'm going to say hello to the chat, you fine folks. Antonis, my man, Zodiac Z, Rosie, my darling, how are you? Hope you are well. Antonis, you beautiful soul. Dropping one hard into the paint, ladies and gentlemen. I finally watched A Quiet Place Day 1. Have you seen it yet? I have not seen it yet. It's on the watch list. I wasn't highly anticipating this one, to be honest. I definitely want to check it out for sure. I've already listened to a bunch of reviews, so I pretty much kind of know what the movie's about and how it goes. So it's kind of why I'm, pushing it to the side a little bit. My next movies I would like to watch, previous new horror releases. I want to watch Sting. I still haven't seen Sting. I want to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I know wow. Why would you want to watch that over that? I know. I do want to see it. So I'm going to be watching that one soon. This weekend, Trap comes out. M. Night Shyamalan's movie with Josh Hartnett as the lead. Hopefully, I'll be making my way out to the theater to see it this weekend. Been one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Being the fact that I am a huge Josh Hartnett fan, that definitely bumped that up for me and made me want to check that movie out. So that comes out this Friday. Hopefully, I'll be going to see it on Thursday night. Fingers crossed. Like to get out a little quick YouTube short out of the theater reaction like I usually do for these movies recently. And by the way, I just watched The Strangers Chapter 1 the other day, and I know most people did not like the movie. I actually did not mind it. I had a good time with it. I mean, it was trying to be the first one, but then it was kind of trying to be a little bit different. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of creepy. The musical cues were kind of creepy. I had a good time. So I can see why people don't like it, because it's kind of so similar to the original. But on the other hand, I thought it was a good time. I liked it. In the Man in the Mask, and this one I believe he's called the Scarecrow, very intimidating. I thought he was just as intimidating as the first two versions of this character. So if you haven't seen Strangers Chapter 1, I'd say check it out. Give it a watch. It was a 2.5 out of 5 movie for me. It wasn't terrible. Wasn't good. I might watch it again, see if I can jump it up any more than that. But I had a good time with it, to be honest. Boogman, what's up, buddy? How are you? Hope you're doing good. Lamantra, my man, the Twisters man. Lamantra, baby. Worked on Twisters. He's a good dude, man. Twisters was a good ass movie. I'm just saying. If you haven't seen Twisters, highly recommend it. Made a lot of money. Herbert, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing? Adrian James, what's up? Mel from My Killer Podcast. What's going on, Mel? Hope you're doing well. Ashton, how are you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. And don't worry, buddy. It'll get better. It always does. Gory Tiger, what's going on, man? How are you? Let's see who else we got. Look at you. Todd, what's up, Todd? How you doing, buddy? You celebrated a birthday not that long ago, so happy belated birthday to you. Brooke, how are you? Zodiac says he did not hate The Strangers at all. Kind of pleasantly surprised. I had a good time with it. I really did. But hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I sound okay. And we're going to start pumping this ranking out based on the critics from Rotten Tomatoes. You guys got to let me know which movie well, it's kind of obvious which movie's going to be in first place, but you guys got to let me know down below if you already don't know. What movie's coming in last place in this franchise on Rotten Tomatoes? What movie is it going to be? And is it going to break my heart? Because speaking of heart, Jamie Hart in the building. What's going on, Jamie? Hope you are doing well this evening. What am I trying to do over here? I am just all flustered up from all you fine people. Alrighty then. Let's see Ashton thinks it's going to be Manhattan. And Todd Thibodeau, happy big 40, buddy. You don't look 40, my friend. You look good. You're only 4 years older than me, though, so we're not that far apart, my good man. We're not that far apart. And Herbert says, who's ready for a long night of Camp Blood? This guy's ready for a long night of Camp Blood. Let's dive into this. All right, this is going to break my heart, but according to Rotten Tomatoes, coming in last place in the Friday the 13th franchise, bottom of the barrel, I'm never going to understand this one at all, and you guys need to explain to me why this is here. We have Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D, a whopping 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me get rid of my logo. It's blocking it. Coming in last place at number 12. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand it. I don't understand why this movie comes in last place. Honestly, it's my personal favorite in the franchise. It is Nick from the Lost River Drive-In's personal favorite in the franchise. It's Richard Brooker, Jason, one of the best in the franchise as well. He gets the iconic mask. We got the handstand kill. We get Shelly in this movie. Chris, one of the best final girls in this movie. I'm at a loss for words here. I don't know what else these people want. But let's read the critics' consensus on Friday the 13th Part 3 goes, Jason may solidify his iconic wardrobe in this entry, but Friday the 13th Part 3 lacks any other distinguishing features, relying on a tired formula of stab and repeat. Well, first off, this is only the third movie in the franchise, so it's not even like we're that far into it, first off. He gets his mask for the first time in this movie, so a little not understanding why. Hey, there goes my wife. Hi, babe. Oh, look, she's coming right over here. You want to get on camera? Nah, she said no. She's never coming on here with Davey and Kate. But yeah, I don't understand it. It's my personal favorite. It's always been in my top, 5, at least at the minimum top 5. So I don't understand. Like, can maybe somebody tell me why Part 3 is this low? Because you're getting some of the best kills in the franchise. You get the bikers in this movie for no reason, of course. Is this your rubber? Oh my gosh! I said, may I have the wallet, ma'am? That's nice. That's real nice. Then they go back and they try to burn down the barn, ladies and gentlemen. I'm assuming they're trying to burn down the barn. That's pretty messed up. Oh, I mean, Shelly did run over their bikes. Kind of tried to get a little bit vehicular homicide going on over here. But yeah, I don't understand the hate for Part 3. It's breaking my heart. I know a lot of people do have this movie at the bottom of their franchise rankings. They say nothing happens in the middle of this movie. I don't understand why people say that. I really don't. This movie has me engaged from the beginning. We get to see they're at the little convenience store place when Jason's walking around without his mask on after he just got macheted in the shoulder from Ginny, because this is a continuation of Part 2, obviously. The same night going into the next morning. Because this is all 2, 3, and 4 were all one big long-ass weekend. Why those kids were going out to Camp Crystal Lake on a Sunday, I have no idea. Maybe their vacations at their workplaces run Sunday to Sunday, but we don't know. Yep, Todd says because Rotten Tomatoes is rotten. I know. Davey Deathray, my man, in the chat. Davey Deathray. The Cobwebs channel, what's going on? See? Thank you. Thank you. This is absolutely a top 5 Friday movie. Thank you. I don't understand. Fauci, your goatee drives me nuts, bro. I'm getting all steamy over here. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? It's garbage day. I know that's not even the same franchise. But number 12, last place, Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D. Oh my god, it breaks my heart to even begin this list with that one, but that's how the fucking Jason chocolate chip cookie crumbles, my friends. Yeah, it's messed up, but that is what it is. All right, coming in at number 11 in the franchise, we have a movie that has grown on me tremendously. Is it the best in the franchise? Hell no. Is it good? Hell no. Is Jason slimy in this whole entire movie? And he never dries out, no matter how long he's on land. No, he's always slimy and gross. Does he have a clay face at some point in this movie? Yes. Were the makeup effects done by a kindergarten class at my local elementary school? Probably. Does it have one of the worst characters in the entire franchise in my boy Uncle Charles? Yes, it does. And I'm talking about Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. How convenient. 11th place, coming in at 11%. So, I am not a hater. All right, I am not a hater of Friday the 13th Part 8. I used to hate this movie. It was at the bottom of my ranking. I would not give this movie the time of day whatsoever. Am I a huge fan of Kane Hodder as Jason? No, he's not my favorite Jason. Is this the best look of Jason? No, but it is kind of growing on me a little bit. At this point, kind of turning into a water creature, a water monster at this point. I've heard that on somebody else's channel. I'm not sure exactly whose. I want to say it might have been Mad Blood. It's a new channel I've been checking out. He's really good. That's where I got the idea to do this kind of an episode. Not that other people haven't done this kind of shit before, but I wanted to try it myself. But yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan, or Jason Takes a Boat, or Jason Takes a Cruise, or yeah, whatever you want to call this movie. There's not a lot of, there's like no nudity in this except for a little bit of side boob. It does, I do love the death whenever he kills that, what is her name? Lucy Liu? Is that her name? Maybe not Lucy Liu. The Asian chick. Whenever they're down at like the dance party and it keeps shooting to different sides of the dance floor, and he's over here, then he's over here, and then he just pops up behind her, chokes her ass, and slams her. That's not bad. Characters in this film suck for the most part. Rennie is a terrible final girl, in my opinion. Lacks any kind of flavor, I guess, any kind of like pizzazz. But I mean, you're 8 movies deep into this franchise, so I mean, the final girls kind of keep declining as these movies progress, unfortunately. But yeah, Rennie's not good. Her boyfriend, I can't think of his name. Hell, what's his name? He's not good either. He gets her a cheap Statue of Liberty necklace, and then she like melts like putty for him. It's ridiculous, man. She was ready to get it on with that motherfucker. He got that out of a Cracker Jack box, and she's falling in love with that boy. I'm just kidding. That was a nice gesture. He's nice. He's a sweetie. We get the cool kill with the guitar, even though it's kind of like edited. A lot of this movie's edited, kind of. We get the new Harbinger of Doom, the creepy boat deck dude. Is the movie kind of boring? Yes. But it's growing on me, and I have a decent enough time with it. And if I'm doing a marathon of this franchise, it's not going to be one that I skip. But let's take a look and see what the consensus is for Jason Takes Manhattan, which came out in 1989, by the way. I was a little 1-year-old boy when this movie came out. A 1-year-old boy. And I was in the cinema with my family. No, I'm kidding. I was not. I was not in the cinema. I'm just joking. That never happened. Let's see. I don't even know if they have a... Oh, they do. My bad. Critics' consensus on Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason terrorizes the ship. It nearly sinks the franchise in a clunky sequel that feels like a self-parody without the charm. There it is. There it is. I mean, they're kind of not wrong. Yeah, they're not wrong. It's not that good of a movie, but I'm still going to watch it. Dave Vanderhoff, my band. how are you doing? I saw you come in the chat earlier. I apologize for not saying hello to a fellow Denver Broncos fan, my friend. Bo Nix, let's do this. And Raymond, I did not say hello to you as well. So Raymond, how are you, my good man? I hope you are doing well, my friend. Let's see. Jamie says, I did see Jason Takes Manhattan in the theater, but I wish I could get my money back. Well, if you watch the whole movie, Jamie, you're not going to get your money back. You got to go in the beginning and then say, hey, this movie blows dick. I've only watched 10 minutes. Can I have my money back, please? Thank you. How's Jason going to get back brought to life again? Electrocution for the second time out of 3 movies. How convenient. The power line was down there, just like in Jaws 2. It's amazing how that works. Good shit. Good shit. But number 11, Jason takes a boat ride to Vancouver and stops by New York for about 5 minutes to look at himself on the screen, which is the best part of the movie. When he's standing in Times Square and it zooms around him, it looks great. And when he kicks that boombox over, you're dead meat slime bag. Oh, you're cool. Oh, it's cool. All right, guys. Coming in 10th place in the franchise, another movie that's growing on me. But you have to watch this movie as not a Friday the 13th movie. You got to watch it on its own. You got to watch it separate from the franchise. Disassociate it from the rest of them. Because we're getting some Evil Dead stuff going on in here. We're getting the Necronomicon in here. We're getting some kind of fancy dagger that I don't know the name of because I'm not the biggest Evil Dead fan. I'm talking about Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, number 10, 16% from the critics. I mean, this movie got Duke. I'm going to say something to you. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Jason Voorhees. Well, I think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut. And I'm like, yeah, me too, man. Me fucking too. Who doesn't think of that when you think of Jason? A nice glazed donut and then a big old plump fucking foot long, ballpark Frank going right inside of it like this. You know what I mean? It works for me and I love it. But it's definitely grown on me. Davey, I'm sorry. I am not the biggest Evil Dead fan. I do love the remake or the requel or the sequel from 2013, and I did love Evil Dead Rise. I'm not a huge fan of the first two. I've never seen Army of Darkness, even though I own it. That's shame on me. I know it's more of like a funny movie at that point. I need to check it out. I'm gonna watch it. One of these days, I'm going to watch it. I'm trying to catch up on some action movies for you people that are requesting them because I've never seen half of them. And I come across as a person who doesn't like film. So, I got to do that instead. So I knocked out the Beverly Hills Cop movies, except for Axel F. I got to get on that one. And then I guess I'm going to have to check out some Die Hard. You know what I mean? You guys make fun of me all the time that I've never seen it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. But Jason Goes to Hell, Herbert says it's the worst in the franchise. The New Line Fridays were the more like comic book movies. Yeah, this is once again Jessica, not another mediocre final girl. We got Steven, which I did not mind. The dude with the glasses. I mean, he does some kind of ninja shit. He jumps over the handcuffs and he's like, bam, beating people up and shit. He's a good... Steven's not bad. He's not bad. The opening, we get Jason, and then we don't get Jason for like the rest of the movie until the last 10 minutes of the movie. And he grunts a lot in this movie, which I'm not a hater of because, I mean, he has grunted in the past. So I don't understand the hate for that. I don't like the look of Jason and Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, he's wearing like the onesie coverall thing like Myers does. I don't know what that's all about. And he has like a belt on, even though I know he's wore a belt in Jason Lives. I know he's wore a belt before. But the look of Jason didn't work for me in this movie. We get a nice cameo from Kane Hodder. as a security guard. And this movie came out in 1993. I was a little 5-year-old we taught in this one. Let's check a look what the consensus is on this one if they got one. Sometimes Rotten Tomatoes doesn't give the consensus for some of these movies. And Jason Goes to Hell looks like it's one of those movies. So I will just go over maybe the one or two of the reviews. All right, so we have Brian Bezzesi from the Horror Movie Club podcast says, while the decision to take the franchise in a new direction is admirable, the film's plot is so nonsensical and convoluted that the creative team's big swing ends up as a big whiffer. 1.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, it was a little convoluted, but I don't know, kind of added to the stupid charm of this movie. And the poster itself is just, you don't know what the hell's going on. That's the Jason monster thing that crawls around and goes up his sister's vajayjay. Creepy shit. And I mean, it was directed by Adam Marcus. He was 23 years old at the time. I mean, he was young. He was young, you know. He did what he wanted to do, and this is what he came up with. You got to respect him for what he did and what he made. He's obviously went on to do other things. And this movie's here for people that want to watch Jason Goes to Hell. I know Ken from Sledgehammer Horror. I know he is a big fan of Jason Goes to Hell. And I'm starting to really, really dig it myself. So if you watch it as a standalone. See, Matthew Rosa says if Jason Goes to Hell had been a standalone film, it might have worked. As a Friday the 13th movie, it sucks. Even though he gave it a 2.5 out of 4. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the proverbial foot there, buddy. You're kind of freaking shooting yourself in the foot. You're kind of being hypocritical. You didn't like the movie, but you gave it a 2.5 out of 4. So it means you kind of did like the movie. That's for what it's worth. Raymond says Jason Goes to Hell is last for me, but I'm going to rewatch it soon. Maybe I'll change my mind. Rewatch it as a non-Friday the 13th movie. I think it's a good time. The kills are gory. That tent scene in the unrated one, mwah, beautiful. Great kill. Herbert says Rotten Tomatoes, but Jason Goes to Hell over Friday 3. People need I say more. Yep, Rotten Tomatoes is not good. It's not good, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to see how exactly wrong they are. Or as my thumbnail says, maybe they're right. Because some people do not like some of these movies, and they would have them ranked towards the bottom of the list. Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, I actually do have this about 10th, if I'm being honest. So it's not that I hate it, but it is at the right spot, per se, in this ranking, for me personally. So I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. Cobweb Channel says, Go to Hell with some really fun nonsense. The tent kill is incredible. It really is, dude. It is. The tent kill in the unrated cut is insane. Blu-ray Addict, and if you've been in here this whole time, I apologize, Blue, because I love you and I would never disrespect you, your beautiful ass like that. So, Blue, you're the man. And also, the Cobweb Channel, I saw you on Davey Death Race channel the other day. Great episode, and I appreciate you even stopping in here because I know you're kind of a big channel on the tube, my friend. You got a shit ton of subscribers, so I mean, I really appreciate you dropping in and chatting up in the chat a little bit. I mean, I really appreciate that very, very much. But Jason Goes to Hell, yeah, coming in 10th place, kind of exactly where I think it would be. Zodiac Z says, Goes to Hell top 4. I'm dying on that hill. Well, I respect you for that, my friend. I do respect the shit out of it, for sure. That's the best thing about this franchise. There's so many different flavors to choose from that every single person could have a different number 1. And that would be amazing. But most people kind of lean towards the final chapter, obviously, and Jason Lives. Both, obviously, iconic movies in this franchise. Fan favorites, so I can see why they do. But it's nice when you get some of the oddball, fans that go for different flavors of the Friday the 13th cream. You know what I mean? That sounded kind of gross. I'm gonna move on now because I don't know what I just said. Let's see. All right, so coming in at 9th place, if you're looking for Jason in this movie, you're only going to get him in some flashback scenes because the real Jason isn't in this movie. And this movie all starts over one little problem. Hey, Vic, I'm going to sit this chocolate ball right here for later in case you get hungry, okay? Fine, Vic. If that's the way you feel, just forget it. But this time, you're really out of line. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, 18%. Coming in at 9th place. I would have this lower. Personally, I do not like this movie. I know it has the Friday the 13th flavor. I know it has the same kills, kind of has the same vibes as the first 4 movies, but this one just does not do it for me. It doesn't work for me. And no, don't even say it's because it's Roy. That got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. I do not like any of the characters in this movie. Well, besides, Reggie the Reckless and Demon, of course. Pam is a terrible final girl. It's me, Reggie. It's me, Pam. Davey Deathray's favorite thing he says. I love when you say that, Davey. It makes me smile every time I hear you say it. It's me, Pam. Roy's a beast, though. You're right, dude. You're right. Roy is a machine. He's breaking down doors. He's doing shit Jason did in the previous movies. So you kind of do think that it is Jason the entire time. But, I mean, he got blue chevrons on his face. That kind of gives it away. They zoom into Roy, at the multiple times in this movie. You talking to me, Sheriff? No. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Dude, you tried to make it seem like it wasn't him, but you did. Yes, it was a porn director. A lot of nudity in this movie, which is obviously a plus. But Dave likes Pam when she's running through the rain in her white t-shirt, even though she has her sweater at one point, loses her sweater at another point, gains her sweater back at another point. And then when she's on the ground, she just keeps crawling backwards instead of getting up and running away. And Roy is taking his good time walking up to her when he could have killed her in 5 seconds. Just saying. Tommy in this movie, not fun. Not fun. I don't like this portrayal. I mean, he has been through some shit, so I get why he's in a mental institution. But come on, man. He's doing karate and shit. He's a beast, beating the shit out of people. We got the freaking, what's her name? Ethel? Is that her name? The redneck mom and the son? You hurt me, Mom! Will you get in here and shut the fuck up? Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, His Eyes is a good song. There's a man with no life in his eyes. I mean, Violet's dance is amazing, and so is ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby. Yeah, that's where Corey Feldman was doing the Goonies. I remember that. They only filmed the little part he was in his backyard because he couldn't do anything else because he was filming the Goonies. Which, by the way, the Goonies is fantastic, and it's getting a 4K Steelbook release for anybody that cares. Just wanted to let you guys know. Since I'm freaking now I'm a physical media addict due to people like Christian from Planet CHH and Garrett from Born to Be Rad and Nick from the West River Drive-In and Ken from Mid-Level Media. You guys are suckering me in. I just can't stop buying movies. I'm so bored. Speaking of this, I got the box set. Never opened this thing from Shout Factory. Never opened. Still got the plastic wrap on it. Probably going to keep it that way because I got all the other Steelbooks over there, so I don't really need to open it anyway. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Part 5. I wish that I was. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people have it high in their ranking. I do not. So number 9, according to Rotten Tomatoes, A New Beginning. Coming in 8th place is another movie that I absolutely can't stand, and I have at the bottom of my ranking. Saw it in the theater when it came out. It was my first Jason experience in the theater. Obviously, when it came out, I was only 13 or 14, so I didn't know what taste was, and I didn't know any better. And I absolutely loved the movie. Years later, I do not watch this movie. I do not rewatch this movie ever, even though it has one of the best kills in the entire franchise. That might have given it away. Jason X coming in 8th place. with 20% on the tomato meter. I do not like this movie. I do not like it. I get it. It's stupid fun. I understand it's fun. I get it. It knew what it was. It's probably one of the only villains that could go to space and get away with it. But it just didn't work. The special effects were bad. It looked very cheap, like an episode of Power Rangers. Uber Jason wasn't terrible. Like I said, though, the costume was cheap. A lot of CGI, because CGI was huge, obviously. We got that virtual reality stuff going on. We get Todd Farmer in this movie, who would later go on to direct My Bloody Valentine, 2009. One of my favorite remakes of all time. Just saying. This is wrong on so many levels. Oh my gosh. Yes, there's some nudity. And then the professor getting his nipples twisted. It's disgusting and makes no sense. Yeah, Drowning Pool was... I remember the Drowning Pool song was big for this trailer. I do. I did jam to that song when it came out, I ain't gonna lie. But this movie, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't. It's not my version of Jason. I think it's Kane Hodder's worst portrayal. It just looks like Kane Hodder with a Jason mask on. I mean, you could see everything about his facial features is hit Kane Hodder. He has some hair, which, I mean, he's had hair in other movies, so I don't know why people complain about that. Exactly, Blu-ray. It feels like a made-for-TV Sci-Fi Channel movie. You are not wrong. That is exactly what it feels like. Brother Fluff, my man, says, fuck Jason X. And I am right there with you, my friend. I am not a fan of Jason X. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I can see how people, it's maybe if you have a bunch of friends over, you know, shut your brain off, have some drinks, then watch Jason X. I could get it. Also, what the hell's her name? What's the final girl in that movie? Shit, I can't think of her name. She's not good, though. She's not good. She really doesn't do anything. She relies on everybody else to do it for her. The best character in that movie would be Brodsky, in my opinion. He's definitely the best. Raymond says X is third for him. The frozen nitrogen smash is the best kill in the franchise. It is. It's good. It is one of the best kills. I will give you that. That is not Rowan. She's not good. Brodsky, on the other hand, I do like him a lot. This is Uber Jason before he started driving people around. Exactly. That's where Uber got their name from. Critics' consensus says Jason goes to the future, but the story is still stuck in the past. Honestly, I don't even know if it's stuck in the past. It's just not. It doesn't seem like a Friday the 13th movie. Yes, Rowan is hot. She is. Ryan, what's going on? How are you? Hope you are well. I think you just had a birthday too, if I'm not mistaken. I believe you did just had a birthday. And if you did, happy birthday, Ryan. A lot of birthdays going around. A lot of birthdays. People getting older. But high school girls still staying the same age. You know what I mean? I mean, that sounds terrible. But it's from a movie, so it's okay that I said it. It's okay, right? You're not going to... Come on. I'm just joking, guys. Seriously. Jeez. Blu-ray, your birthday's today. You little son of a... Now I gotta do it. I gotta sing you the song. My happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Blue. You look like a monkey. Actually, I don't know if you look like a monkey because I've never seen you. But Blue, happy birthday, buddy. Hope you are having a great day. And that's awesome that you spent it here with me for a little bit of your birthday. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. I hope I can make your birthday just a teeny weensy little bit more special than it already is. Because it always just takes a little bit more extra, you know, that little bit extra, you know, for the customers. F Bass, what's up? People forget the Jason X so anticipated when it came out. 8 years after Jason Goes to Hell, it was so much fun in the theaters. It's not terrible. It was just fun. Yeah, it was fun then. I just don't like it now. But I can see why people do like it. So I can see that. I can see why people do like it, but it's just not for me, not anymore, and it's not one that I ever want to go back and rewatch personally. And look at the chat showing some love to Blu-ray, wishing him a happy birthday. You guys are awesome, making him feel very special. Yep, David Cronenberg gets killed in this movie. You know, maybe he got killed in this movie because he made Shivers. No, I'm just kidding. I am 10 years older than Blu-ray Addict. That means I am an old man. Just kidding. Just kidding. I feel good. I feel great. 36 never looked so good. You know what I mean? Terrifier 3 and It's Me Billy 2 is Raymond. Day after his birthday. It's okay, guys. He wanted his machete back. Yeah, the movie blows. We're going to move on. No more Jason X talk. Okay, coming in at number 7. Now, this is a shock to the franchise fans. This one makes no sense at all. This kind of breaks Friday the 13th fans' heart all the way around. And I'm just going to get it out of the way now and rip the Band-Aid off. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Number 7 at 21%. That is absurd. Okay? I have that movie obviously in top 5. I know a lot of people have it number 1. Maybe number top 2, maybe top 3. It's, you know, most people consider that movie to be the quintessential slasher of the 80s. One of the best slasher movies ever made. So, for it to be ranked this low and the critics to not show more love to probably one of the best, if not the best in the franchise, was mind-blowing to me. I did not think it was going to be this low on the list. This movie came out in 1984. We had Corey Feldman in this bad boy. I mean, we get one of the greatest Crispin Glover dance scenes of all time. Oh, no way! Ted, where's the corkscrew? You know, the fancy one for the wine bottle? Ted? I know. It's a Rotten Tomatoes. It's killing everyone in the chat right now. It's killing everyone. We got blasphemy. We got Rotten Tomatoes. It's killing me. We got bullshit. How was Part 4 21%? I don't know. I didn't make it up. It wasn't me. I was locked in Gordon's cage. It couldn't be me. It's not number 1 for me. It was at one point. It's not anymore. Obviously, it's one of the best in the franchise for sure. Ted White is an amazing Jason. We get amazing kills. We get amazing characters in this one. We get twins. I mean, we got some boobies up in this one. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Critics' consensus is, and as lumberingly single-minded as its homicidal star, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, adds another rote entry to an increasingly labored franchise. Wow. Holy smokes. Like, I gotta look at this. I gotta see what, if anybody reviewed, any critic. There's only 33 of them, so you gotta take all of these with a grain of salt. Okay, let's read the first one. It's a shitty review. From February of this year. There's nothing groundbreaking, but many agree it does slightly raise the bar on the previous 2 sequels at least. I think most people would agree with that it raises the bar. I think people would agree with that one for sure. And let's read one that was fresh. With Jason's highlight kills, extremely proficient filmmaking, and the most enjoyable side characters of the series, Part 4 ranks among the most enjoyable slashers of all time. He gave it an 8 out of 10. So, there's love and hate for this one, I see. Most people have, this one higher, very higher. I don't know if anybody has this one below the midpoint of this franchise. And they'd probably be stupid. Well, I can't say they're stupid because it's all opinion-based. Tiger blood is a very good flavor of a slushy, Rosie. I'm just saying. If you never tried it, Tiger blood is fantastic. And Judy Aronson in a raft. Hello. She's beautiful. And she still looks beautiful to this day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think she knows how to age. And that is good for her. Final Chapter is a classic. A staple of the 80s. my 80s /Tober slasher showdown, my bracket style tournament that's going to be coming up we're doing a debut episode in August. Me and Davey Deathray. One of the matchups on there is going to be Jason Lives versus the final chapter. It got 1 vote each. One YouTube community voted for one. Instagram voted for another one. So it made its way under the preview show. So one of those movies is getting eliminated right off the bat in this 80s slasher tournament. So whenever I schedule that one, you guys are not going to want to miss it. You guys are going to want to come and support whichever one of those 2 movies you want to see move on, because one of them is going to be eliminated right off the bat. It's mind-blowing to me. Jason Lives and the final chapter are 2 staples, and they just happen to get paired up with each other because I based it on the Rotten Tomato scores. So it wasn't me. It's just the way that the cookie crumbled. And whenever I put that out there, you're going to need some help if you're a fan of the final chapter to get it to move on. She's beautiful, but I would fight Jason over the goddess Rosie. Rosie, my darling. Rosie, my darling. All right. So I know it's heartbreaking. I know it doesn't make any sense. Number 7, the final chapter. Coming in at number 6 was a movie of mine that held the number 1 spot for a while in this franchise. One of the best remakes made ever. One of those Michael Bay Platinum Dunes remakes. I'm talking about the remake, Friday the 13th, 2009, 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, coming in at 6. I thought this movie was stupendous. I have this movie in my top 4, top 5. It's one of those. So I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Derek Mears is a great Jason. He's goes back and forth between my first and second favorite Jason in the franchise. I don't understand why people don't like this movie. They say the characters are terrible. I mean, for the most part, these characters are always terrible in these movies. They're cheesy slasher movies. They're not going to be something to write home about, unfortunately. Jared Padalecki, I really do like as Clay, as the main protagonist in this movie. You get Danielle Panabaker, one of the most shocking deaths in this franchise. Didn't see it coming. I know a lot of people don't like that Jason takes a prisoner and he kidnaps her, but this is an entirely different Jason. It was a different take, so I get it to a certain extent, but then I don't get it. You know, it's something new. They wanted to try something fresh. Like my boy Davey Deathray also said about this Jason in this movie. He's like one of those like wolf spiders that pops up and then pulls people back down, and he has all the trap doors and shit. It works. It works for this movie. This one's a beast. He got the spotlight set up. He got all the traps made. He got the little tripwires and shit made. I love it. I love this Jason. I really do. I don't understand the hate. It's really, really good. And yeah, you want to buy some weed? Seriously, I just found a whole shit. I love that dude. Hey Gina, remember last summer when you took my virginity? Oh, you're so tight. Dude, he banged a mannequin. So technically, he's still a virgin. A mannequin cannot take your virginity. It's not how that works. It's a plastic thing. I mean, Chucky could because he's crazy like that. Nothing's better than a big hunk of wood. Yeah, it's the remake is great. You get great looking Bree, one of the most beautiful girls in the entire franchise, in my opinion. Great kills, great Jason. I know we don't get the typical Friday the 13th music in this movie, but what they did give us worked for me personally. Saw this one in theaters as well. I loved it then. I still love it now. The one dude in the beginning is from the Superstore, a show I used to watch all the time. So I love that as well. Let's take a look at the critics' consensus for the remake. It says, though technically well constructed, Friday the 13th is a series rehash that features little to distinguish it from its predecessors. That I disagree with because they did make him a hunter. They made him a gatherer. They made him a kidnapper. They made him a cave dweller. They made him, a tunneler. They made him do all kinds of shit that he never did before. He lured out whenever he threw that axe and then hit that one dude in the back, and then he used him as bait. Jason never done that shit before. This Jason was smart. And we got the sack head in this, and the hockey mask. And the first 20 minutes of this movie is amazing in itself. The 20 minutes could have been its own movie, and then we could have got another movie being the back half, which I know a lot of people say this movie peaked too early, or should I say it came too early. Wink, wink for those of you who are premature ejaculators. That's a little bit much. I apologize. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. There are meds for that on hims.com. Yeah, but you got the best of both worlds, just like Hannah Montana. So it's a good movie. It's a good movie, and the nutsack head was there. And he did a sleeping bag kill, but he added a little spin on it by roasting her over an open fire, just like he's fucking getting ready for It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. You know what I mean, guys? Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely love the remake. Dean Renner! When the movie came out, it was stupendous. Exactly. Those titties would win in a wet t-shirt contest any day. One of the longest, most gratuitous sex scenes in the entire franchise. And I was there with my little young mind watching with the video camera saying, I can't wait to watch this again. I'm sick. I'm going to move on before I get in trouble. Oh my God, somebody's screaming in the background. I sure hope they're okay. Oh, they're fine. They're just tied up in my basement. Okay, so coming in at number 5 is another movie that I don't like very much either. I mean, people do like this one. I don't. We got Jason. He couldn't fight Freddy yet, so he fought generic Carrie. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. 33% on the tomato meter. Number 5 in the franchise, according to Rotten Tomatoes. Lar Park Lincoln is fine. I just find this one very boring. I know this one was heavily edited and destroyed by the MPAA, so I get that. The kills would have been amazing if they would not have been destroyed. But this movie just doesn't do anything for me. Yes, I know Jason looks amazing. Probably the best look of Kane Hodder's version of Jason. I know a lot of people consider this version the best look in the entire franchise. I don't. But, I mean, the spine, every single wound Jason has ever had is in this movie. I mean, that's cool. I think Carrie. I think Tina, you know, she does some work, okay? She works Jason's ass in this movie, and it's good. It's really, really good. I like what she does, but I don't like this. I just don't rewatch this movie that often. I don't care to. We got Bad News Cruz, probably one of the most disgusting characters in the franchise. Oh, Blu-ray says this is the third act is his favorite in the franchise. I mean, the house explodes, but somehow Jason doesn't die. I mean, he never dies, but you know what I'm saying. What's his name? Rick. Yeah, Rick. Tina and Rick. Rick was also in soap operas, if you guys didn't know. I only know that because my wife watches them. It's the only reason I know that. I promise I don't watch them with her sometimes. Oh, no. But, yeah, Zodiac Z says probably the one I've seen the least. Yeah, I don't. This one's right up there for me. It's at the bottom of my personal ranking. I just don't find enjoyment in this movie. We do get a cool party horn death, which makes no fucking sense. And then that scene where Maddie goes out to the barn and then Jason is walking around with the lightning, like that is shot incredibly well. Jean-Carl Buechler? Is that his name? I never get the name right. Let me pull it up. I know he did pass away, but I mean, he did great for what he was given and what he wanted to do. I'm just not the biggest fan of that movie. Came out in 1988. The year I was born. Why did they have to give me this movie the year I was born? It's messed up. Critics' consensus is as lumbering and bereft of conscious thought as its unstoppable star, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood finds the franchise in desperate need of the title ingredient. Yep, I don't like the fact they took it away from the camp. But then again, you're going to say, wait, the final chapter wasn't in a camp either. Yeah, I know. Oh, somebody gave it a 0 out of 5. Nice. Oh, we got to read this one. This one right here is from an audience member, not a critic. He said, why the magic? Why the love story? Where'd the magic come from? Why do they keep saving the final survivors? Why the magic? 1 out of 5 stars. And that was a review from 2 days ago, actually. Yeah, I don't know where the magic came from. I don't understand. Yes, it has cool moments, but a little underwhelming. It's not magic, by the way, guy who reviewed that. It is telekinesis. It still makes no sense. This movie's, obviously, Friday the 13th is Jason. He gets killed, he comes back, gets killed, he comes back. But this one's kind of jumping the shark a little bit, adding in a telekinetic heroine to fight Jason. Come on now. Eli, what's up, buddy? Hope you are doing well, Eli, my man. Ashley says, what are you complaining about? I was born the same year Freddy's Dead released. Hey, dude, I don't hate Freddy's Dead as much as everybody else. I've only seen it one time, and it helped that I watched it with Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies. So we had a blast talking about it and watching it together. So I'm not going to hate it, man. I'm not going to hate on it as much as everybody else did. Davey says to hire a special effects master and then cut all the gore from the film is just the biggest tragedy in the franchise. Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, if they could add the kills back in, I know when they killed Dr. Cruz, they cut the shit out of him, dude. Cut the shit out of him. I know Eli's here because of my boy Davey, so appreciate Davey spreading the good word. Oh, I'm editing the first Tales from the Crypt review now. Nice. I was going to make this one pre-recorded, but you know me, and I don't do pre-recorded shit because I don't got that much time with my kids and stuff, so I figured why not? The Power Glove. Yeah. Man, how does Dave McCrae do this all the time, man? How does Dave do this? How does he talk for so long using different voices and his throat not hurt? Because I've only been doing this for almost an hour and my throat is so sore and I keep coughing. Dave is a legend and I got to get him on. I reached out to him. I'd like to get him on before It's Me Billy comes out, obviously, when he's busy. We did talk and he does want to come on the channel again. So hopefully I'll be able to get him to come on in September sometime. We could talk it up. Love talking to Dave. He's been on a few times. Need to get him on again. Also next month, September, I'm going to be trying to get back on Lee from Drum Dums. He's going to come on hopefully for an episode of my Slashtober Slasher Showdown tournament as well. So looking forward to that, being that he's a big 80s guy, a big slasher guy. Figured he'd be perfect to come on. By the way, guys, if you're in here and you have not already, please machete the shit out of the like button. Really, really appreciate it. Not that my videos ever blow up or get big or anything, but every little like on there adds to my self-esteem. Okay, guys? Every little like adds to me feeling better about myself. So thank you. Herbert says, ever since Friday 4, the movies were sold by an event for killing off Jason. Part 5, Phony. 6, Rising from the Grave. 7, Telekinetic Girl. 8, Manhattan. Him going to hell, to space, can't not. Yeah, there's all kinds of, there's always a gimmick. After the first couple, there was always a gimmick, unfortunately. But we all love Friday the 13th, and we keep coming back, so must have did something right. Number 5, the new, I always get them confused. All right, coming in number 4, I'm rocking it on the shirt. Where is it at? One of my favorites in the franchise. It was number 1 for a very long time. Friday the 13th Part 2. Pretty much a softcore reboot. Literally did the same thing the first one did, but just did it better. 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Blasphemy is what that is. Part 2 is amazing. We get the sackhead Jason. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love Friday the 13th Part 2. It's one of my go-tos when I'm going to watch a Friday the 13th movie. Ginny is by far one of the best final girls in the planet. Love her psychology, what she does to Jason in this movie. Exactly. Blu-ray says Part 2 should have at least a 60%. Zodiac Z says Little Miss Brown Panties. I seen her. She came to my town. We have a little theater down, an old school movie theater downtown. They did a horror month for October, and Friday the 13th Part 2 was one of the movies they showed, and they brought her. I think her name is Lauren Marie Taylor. They brought her here. She did a little Q&A with the fans, and we got to watch the movie with her, and she did a little bit of commentary as it went on. So it was really, really cool. She's such a nice person. She was in A Violent Nature as well. I don't know why we're getting a sequel. I didn't really like the first one. And we're getting a Cocaine Bear too? Why? Why? I really wanted to love the first one. Cocaine Bear, but I did not like it. It had moments, but I didn't like it. Davey says Part 2 is one of the best in the series and is getting hosed by that percentage. It really, really is. I don't understand the hate for Friday the 13th Part 2. I love it so much. Oh, that's not it. I don't know why I got 2 copies of the original for some reason. I mean, I don't understand. When I'm reaching for a Friday the 13th movie, this is one of the ones that I go to right off the bat. I have come around to Part 1 a lot, but for the most part, I'm going to start with Part 2. It's always been my favorite, and you're all doomed. Always been my favorite. I'm a sucker for anything Part 2. It's Brooke's favorite. Ashton's probably the only one here that doesn't like the sackhead look. Just doesn't do it for me. No, you're probably not alone. It does. Yeah, you're right, Dean. The Town That Dreaded Sundown for sure. I don't like the original Town That Dreaded Sundown. The remake I do like, but I do not like the original. But the look of the killer in that movie is really cool. So I could see why they went with the sackhead. It is creepy. I mean, what else would Jason have at his disposal out in the woods? Especially because he only cut the one eye hole. That one scene when he's running down the hill when Ginny's in the shack. Creepy shit, man. I have Part 2 at number 2 in my personal franchise ranking. And they have it at number 4. So we're a little bit off, but I'm not going to hate on them. It's not that far away. Yeah, Crazy Ralph is always hiding in a closet, too. He's eating beans in the first one. And then the only reason he was brought back in the second one was to be killed because he did nothing in the movie. And he got killed ridiculous because Jason dropped down the whole way from the top of a tree and choked him with barbed wire. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Dean says the OG town is a little tough to get through. It really is. And then they shot it. It was so badly shot, dude. They got the one cameraman. He's on the train, and you see his body. You see him freaking recording when you're not even supposed to. That's how cheap it was. But, I mean, it was the 70s, so what do you expect? But Friday the 13th Part 2, classic. One of my personal favorites. I'm glad it made the top 5. I would be heartbroken if it wasn't. The next one is another one that I saw in theaters. My second experience with Friday the 13th in the movie theater. I loved it when it came out. I know it's just supposed to be a schlocky, hardcore fight film. It's a versus movie. More of a Nightmare on Elm Street than Friday the 13th film. But Freddy vs. Jason, number 3 with a 42% on Rotten. Oh, hold on. I messed up. Let me go back. I wanted to look at the consensus for Part 2. I want to see if I'm heartbroken. Let's see. Part 2, Amy Steele. Came out in 1981. The golden year of slasher films. Consensus, Friday the 13th Part 2 sets the template for the franchise to follow, with more teen victims, more gruesome set pieces, and a few reasons to keep following along. Okay, so it's not terrible. It could have wrote that worse, I guess. Wow. This review is from today. Part 2 of Friday the 13th felt rushed and confused and less graphic and less gore than the first. There wasn't even that much gore in the first one anyway, except for the freaking Kevin Bacon kill. And those who own the 4K of The Burning, there's a huge spoiler about the Friday the 13th Part 2. And he gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So I don't know why he was talking shit on it, and then he gave it a 3.5 out of 5. But that's all we're going to talk about Friday the 13th Part 2. So we're back to Freddy versus Jason. Saw it in the theater. Saw it in the drive-ins. So I saw it twice. Absolutely loved it. Wasn't a huge Freddy guy. Still am not a huge Freddy guy personally. Always been a Jason guy. It was fun. It was fun for what it was. Schlocky fun. The best part is the third act when they're fighting each other, obviously. Not a huge fan of the characters in this one. Monica Keena is beautiful, but I don't really care about her as Lori is the final girl.
He has ruined both of our paths, and I'm not leaving here until I see him die.
Yeah. I know people love it. Kevin Big Bacon, if you've seen Wild Things. You make my heart sing, Zodiac Z. I'm not the biggest fan of Freddy vs. Jason. I get why people like it. It was highly anticipated. We thought we were getting it way back in 1994, probably right after Jason Goes to Hell, which we did not. Instead, we had to wait another 10 years to get it, and this is what we got with Kelly Rowland up in this bitch and John Ritter's son. Critics' consensus goes like this. Fans of the two horror franchises will enjoy this showdown, but for everyone else, it's the same old slice and dice. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I know people have fun. I know. I just don't. I don't have fun watching it. I don't like Ken Kersinger's portrayal of Jason. I think that might have something to do with it. I don't... it was directed by a guy who did music videos, and it clearly shows in the movie, for sure. I just don't have a good time with Freddy vs. Jason like everybody else does, and I should, because it's supposed to be a fun popcorn flick, and I just don't enjoy it. I know that's probably bad, because I know people waited years and years and years, and then we got this, and then I just was like, nah. Yep, Ashton says you either like Freddy vs. Jason or you don't. I can have fun with it if there's nothing else on. I can agree with that statement. If there's nothing on, I will watch it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Freddy vs. Jason. I'm just not going to do it. Like I said, Jason's portrayal was bad. I don't like it. Catherine Isabel's in the movie, but we don't even get to see her naked because we get a stunt body double in the shower, not her. A little heartbroken that I found that out, but, to get the bed kill. I know people love that kill. I'm not a fan of the Freddy turning into a worm and then do it, smoking the bong and then making Freebird dump all the pills down the drain. I'm not a fan of it. But Freddy vs. Jason, coming in third place, surprisingly. So, good for them. Good for them. Only 2 movies left in this bad boy, so cracking the top 2. There's only 2 movies left. Kind of self-explanatory what movies is going to be next. Came out in 1986, stars amazing Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. I'm talking about Jason. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Coming in with 53%. Second place in the franchise. This is a fan favorite. This is the MTV version of Jason. Yeah, we do. The cop in Freddy vs. Jason is Greg from Scary Movie. Having a small dick's like a disability, man. Would you make fun of a guy in a wheelchair, huh? Would you? Good movie. Scary Movie's a good movie. Scary Movie's way better than Freddy vs. Jason. Just saying. Herbert says, one ending, Freddy and Jason fought all the way down to hell and ended up facing off in an area down in hell. And Pinhead appeared in the middle of them and said, "Let the games begin." Last shot of the film. Wow. Interesting. That'd have been a little weird, a little different. Get a little Pinhead action in that shit. Say it, Cindy. We take it to our grave. Say it. Fucking elbow drops the shit out of her. Whoa! Chris Snyder, I did see you hanging out with the dude from Greg from Scary Movie. What's going on, my dude? Hopefully your Scream Who Killed Who thing is coming along great. Excited to check that out, my brother Christopher. But yeah, Jason Lives, second place according to Rotten Tomatoes. This is a lot of people's favorite portrayal of Tommy Jarvis. The conclusion of the Jarvis trilogy. We get a lot of callbacks to Frankenstein, the Karloff General Store. He gets brought back to life by the lightning hitting the rod. Megan is definitely a hot girl in this movie for show. Megan! Hold on, it's going to be a hairy turn. His face is in her vagina. She says that while his face is in her vagina. It's hilarious. It's the 80s, so she had a bush. I'm just... Nope. Whatever. This is out of control. Jason Lives is... It's fun. It's not like my top movie or anything like that. I have fun with it. I definitely... If I'm marathoning, I'm not going to skip it. I mean, the opening kill when Jason punches right through that dude's chest, pulls out his heart right off the bat. Awesome. The James Bond intro, I ain't gonna lie, I've never seen James Bond movies, so I honestly didn't really even know what that was until later in life. But now I do. So, oh, and by the way, from Friday the 13th Part 3, I didn't mention this. Chris is my favorite final girl, by the way. I don't think she gets enough love. I know she goes crazy at the end of the movie, but we all do. She just went through fucking hell, so I can understand it. But I forgot to mention that way back in the beginning of this video, so there it is. But Jason Lives. Love the camp. Love that there's actually kids at the camp. John Travolta's nephew's in this movie. He's getting rode in that freaking RV. Man, this baby get rocked. We got Alice Cooper playing throughout this movie. Fantastic soundtrack. Absolutely. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's amazing. It's so good. But it's not really one that I go back and... I mean, I watch it, like I said, but I don't rewatch it tremendously. I know why people have it as their favorite of the franchise. I totally get it. But for me, this isn't my version of Jason. CJ Graham his portrayal is great. I know there was two actors that played Jason in this movie. I think there was CJ Graham and then the one guy who did the paintball scene, I believe, because he was a little bit thicker in his tummy. Speaking of the paintball scene, Raymond, the 3-for-1 kill. You brought it up. Way to go. The girl dynamic in Jason Lives is the opposite of Halloween 78. Counselor Paula was so Laurie Strode, and Megan was an Annie Brackett-like character. Okay, come on, man. Yeah, you're right. The triple decapitation kill, I actually hated it. I know a lot of people do like it, but I think it was so cheap and corny. I did not like it. Sheriff Garris's death is probably one of the best, obviously, in the franchise, and in this movie when he gets bent like a pretzel. That's a good one. And then when Jason kills that one counselor in the cabin and we don't actually get to see it, you just get to see the aftermath of the blood all over the walls. And that's one of the times whenever seeing less is more, because seeing the aftermath is like, wow, like holy shit, dude. He fucking bloodied her out, man. He bled her the fuck out. So definitely, I can see why this movie is number 2 in the franchise. I'm actually shocked that the final chapter isn't up here right beside it. Very shocking to me. But that's the critics for you. I'm going to have to do another video. Maybe I'll do a pre-recorded video of the audience scores and then rank those accordingly. And then I also have another one on here where I average them all together and then rank them that way as well. So I can make this into 3 separate videos, and this is just the start. So I might do the other 2 pre-recorded, which I usually don't do. But since I already have some of the thumbnails and shit ready to go, I might as well just continue it. And shockingly, coming in at oh, wait. I didn't read the consensus on this one, did I? Jason Lives? Or did I? Let me see. Uh-oh. Better plug in. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives indeed brings back old Voorhees along with a sense of serviceable, brain-dead fun. So it seems like people liked it. People had a good time with it. Since I'm at number 2, let's read one of the critics. He reviewed this as fresh. This was actually pretty recent from February. It makes for a much more enjoyable ride for many, though some may missed the reliable presence of more grisly violent details and nudity of previous franchise outings. Yeah, this one kind of trims the deaths back a little bit, and also there's no nudity in this one at all. Let me see a rotten review. This one gave it a 0.5 out of 4. The Murderous Jason is back in the latest chapter of the most offensive series in film history. Unless Burt Reynolds makes 3 more Smoking the Bandit pictures real quick. The Chicago Tribune. That was from Gene Siskel. Wow. That was harsh. That was bloody savage, my friend. But number 2, Jason Lives. Vente. It means 20 because it's 20 ounces. I love that movie. Role Models is fantastic. And obviously coming in first place in the franchise, the movie that started it all, Friday the 13th, 1980, with a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, landing in first place. Betsy Palmer kills it as Pamela Voorhees in this movie. I mean, most of these franchises, the first film in the franchise is the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes. It's kind of just the way it is for the most part. Is this a lot of people's favorite Friday the 13th film? Of course not. Most people don't even have this movie in their top half of the franchise. I'm starting to appreciate it for what it is. Is it in my top half? I don't think so. I think it's right outside of that. But I'm really, really starting to enjoy the original for what it is. It does have some creepy atmosphere. It's dark. It definitely feels like camp. One of these days, I'm going to go out to New Jersey to visit it. I'm just waiting for my kids to be old enough so we can stay, because we can do the night portion of it and then watch Friday the 13th in the town on the big screen. I really, really want to do that. So definitely that's on the bucket list for sure. And like Zodiac Z said, we weren't doing anything. We were just messing around. You get the POV of the killer throughout this movie. It's a whodunit, but a whodunit who did it wrong, because we never actually know who the killer is. They never even show us Betsy Palmer until the end of the movie, and then we're like, who is this old lady? Even though she's probably not that old in that movie, but that's just amazing how stuff looks back then. Yeah, the original budget was only $500K, so I mean, I get it. It didn't have the funds. Sean Cunningham did what he did. Copied off Halloween. Blatant ripoff of Halloween. He said that it was. So, but, I mean, it created this amazing franchise. It's kind of still going. We're just waiting for it to come back. I know we're dying for a new Friday the 13th movie or show. I know the show got shelved for a little bit because of A24 and Brian Fuller, but it's gonna come back. Critics' consensus for the original Friday the 13th, rather quaint by today's standards. Friday the 13th still has its share of bloody surprises and a 70s holdover aesthetic to slightly compel. Well, I think this movie, wasn't it made in like 1979? So, I mean, it's made in the 70s. It looks like the 70s. It definitely feels like a 70s horror movie. It's fine. It's growing on me. It's in the middle of the road for me. But since this is number 1, let's read a couple reviews. On the surface, Friday the 13th has remained a classic of both the horror and slasher genre, but at its core, it is a story of madness and revenge within the unrelenting spirit of prophesized evil. It's a revenge story, you know? They took her baby away from her, and the mother came back to seek revenge. I get it. It makes sense. This one's from a top critic. The best bits of Halloween, Carrie, and Hitchcock's Psycho were cheekily repurposed here by the director Sean S. Cunningham for a slasher movie. The first of a whopping 12 installments that remains the genre standard bearer. He gave it a 4 out of 5. So, he liked it. Here's a rotten one. Betsy Palmer, cast as Mrs. Voorhees, delivers the most embarrassing performance found in any film in the franchise. Wow. Give it a 2 out of 4. Holy buckets. Here's another one, rotten. Friday the 13th is not a good movie, but it achieves its objective to make the public feel adrenaline. Wow. And here's another, where's a good one? This one gave it 8 out of 10. The likable, non-stereotypical teens in Friday the 13th didn't do anything wrong per se, yet they get punished. It makes you wonder if there's any your job here running around out there just looking for the time to strike. it's good. Pamela Voorhees, very shocking at the end to see that she was the one who did it. A lot of people think the OG is boring. I can see that. I mean, Alice is making coffee for 5 minutes throughout the portion of this movie, so it makes sense. But it's growing on me. It's one that I've started to put into my rotation for my franchise watches. I used to skip it. Now I'm diving into it. Now I watch it all the time. I think that it leads into part 2, even though you get pretty much the first 10 minutes of part 2 or the flashback of the first one, so you don't really need to watch the first one, I guess. But it's always a plus seeing Kevin Bacon. You cannot go wrong with Kevin Bacon. It's fine. The kills are good. Tom Savini was here. He brought the baby to life. Jason Voorhees. He killed his baby in the final chapter, so it was only ceremonious that he created it and ended it. And it's not a shock to me at all that the Friday the 13th, 1980 is number 1 on the Rotten Tomatoes list. Not a surprise at all. It made, obviously that's in the tournament as well. Obviously all of these Friday the 13th movies are in the tournament. So all of them except for Jason Goes to Hell, obviously, because it wasn't in the 80s. And then further on. But every other one is in it. It's going to be exciting to see how many of the Friday the 13th movies make the Sweet 16 and make it to the championship, if any of them do. But those were the rankings of the Friday the 13th franchise according to Rotten Tomatoes. I know I was long-winded. I know I gave a bunch of explanations of shit you guys already knew. But I thought this was a fun time. I thought it was very cool seeing how they rank them compared to how we feel about them. So definitely, if you're watching this after the fact, let me know how bad Rotten Tomatoes got these. Let me know if they got any of them right. Let me know how close your rankings are to theirs. And if you're feeling crazy and have the time, drop your rankings down in the comment section. I will gladly interact with you down there for sure. 100%. Always love to get comments and feedback on how I'm doing. Great community, great chat tonight. It was a fun time. Pamela Voorhees, that is a good one, Zodiac. Appreciate all the love in the chat. Thanking me for a great stream. It wouldn't be possible without all of you guys coming and hanging out. It's freaking awesome, dude. The community we got is amazing. I love all you guys very much. Really do. It means a lot. If anybody got any final thoughts of the Friday the 13th franchise, let me know. Feel free to drop them in the chat. Anybody got any questions? We can go Q&A for probably about 10 minutes or so. If you guys want to stick around, feel free to ask anything you guys want to ask. And then we'll get out of here for the night. Overall, Friday the 13th is a huge, huge franchise in my life. One of my favorites for sure. I wouldn't have a bunch of freaking movies and shit of it, a bunch of masks. Jason has always been one of my go-tos my whole life. My brother got me into it way back whenever I was a young kid. And I've watched him ever since. Watched him, repeatedly. They never get old for me. Like I said, I love Halloween, but it's just not a franchise I can watch. Like on repeat. They're a little more serious, I guess, per se, compared to Friday the 13th, which is just some campfire fun and slashing and stuff. So Halloween's obviously my number 1, followed by Friday the 13th. So they're always going to be probably right beside each other. So that's where it is. Raymond says I'd rather have a new movie than a TV show. Me too, buddy. Me too. But if we're going to get a TV show, of course I'm going to watch it. I'll be there day 1 watching it, whatever streaming service it's on. But I really, really would much rather have a movie, and I hope that they get it worked out. Jarrett McDonald, what's up? He says Jason X was the first Friday the 13th movie I watched. Does that mean that you have a huge attachment to it and it's one of your favorites? Or it's just, one you watched and then you moved on to the better ones? I respect whatever you choose, but for me, it was the first Friday movie I saw in theaters, and you would think that would mean something to me in hold the nostalgia, but it does not. It does not. Not a fan. Not a fan of it at all. Used to, not anymore. Yeah, Dean, the TV show is in shambles. I don't really think it's gonna be a while. More birthday love for Blu-ray Addict. He's just a popular. Happy birthday, you beautiful blue bastard, you. It's my sister's birthday too, so you share a birthday with my sister. Happy birthday, Kim. Happy birthday. 32 today. So happy birthday to you. So if you guys had a good time with this one and it was well received, I probably will do more franchises like this. And like I said, I might do just a pre-recorded content one for the audience rankings, and then one for the combined audience and critics. I think that'll be fun. Jarrett says Jason Lives is my favorite in the franchise. Well, that's a lot of people's favorite, my friend. That is a lot of people's favorite in the franchise. It never was mine. Never was my favorite. I do like it, but it was never my favorite. It's a fun time, though. Most of these Friday movies are a fun time. Only a few of them I will skip. I mean, even then, I'll probably still watch them. I'll watch them all, honestly, except for Jason X. I won't watch that one. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just don't find enjoyment in it. And I know I'm sure there's other Friday the 13th movies that other people don't find enjoyment in, so they just skip them. And that's totally understandable. And Jason X is that for me. I just don't watch it. Blue says Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise, and I try to binge the franchise once a year. Me too, buddy. Except for I watch 2 and 3 probably, I don't know, 3 times a year, if not more. I just absolutely love them so much. What did I rewatch last night? I rewatched Abigail last night. I haven't watched it since the theater when it came out. Wanted to rewatch it again to see if it still was one of my favorites of the year, and it did not disappoint. Absolutely love Abigail. Streaming on Peacock, by the way, if you haven't seen it. If you got Peacock, it's on Peacock. Go check out Abigail. Fantastic movie. I loved it. Radio Silence delivered another banger. Good. So much fun. Such a fun movie. Is it like Long Legs? It's not scary or creepy or anything. It's just a fun popcorn horror movie. Lots of blood. Awesome kills. And I'm not a really huge vampire fan, but that one, Abigail, delivered for me. Jared says Jason Takes Manhattan have its moments. It does. That movie has grown on me as well. I am not a Jason Takes Manhattan hater anymore. I've seen the errors of my ways, and it was a mistake. And Jamie, I know I gotta watch Army of Darkness. Maybe if my wife, if she falls asleep early tonight, if she has to work tomorrow, I will pop on Army of Darkness. Maybe I will give it a watch and I will report back to you, Jamie, how I feel about it. Raymond says Abigail is his second favorite horror movie of the year. It's my number one still my number one. I love Long Legs, but when I want to have fun watching a horror movie, I'm gonna pick Abigail over Long Legs. Long Legs isn't that kind of movie. Brooke, I knew I liked you more than anyone else. I'm just kidding. Abigail's my favorite so far this year. We're on the same page there, Brooke. It is such a fun movie. Melissa Barrera was fantastic. What's his name? Dan Stevens, I think, is the main guy's name. He was great. Absolutely loved him as Frank. It was a good movie. The chemistry with all the characters was great. Loved that they all had their separate personalities. They all worked so well going off each other. So, Blu-ray says Abigail is his favorite horror movie of the year. Also, Ashton says Long Legs was a bit overrated in my opinion. I could see that. It was fun. I don't know. I felt really weird in my stomach when I watched Long Legs, to be honest. Like the whole movie, I felt so weird in my stomach. And my wife's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't know. It's just a weird feeling I have." Kind of the same way I felt when I watched Sinister. Blue, I have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm hoping to go see it this weekend. I also want to go see Trap this weekend, so I would like to go see both of them. My favorite non-horror movie is Twisters. It was freaking absolutely amazing. Love Twisters so much. Destroy All Neighbors will be my favorite horror movie of this year. I watched Destroy All Neighbors, Jarrett, and I did not like it. I did not like it. It wasn't my kind of movie. I could see why people do like it, but it was not my kind of movie. I'm sorry. Raymond, haven't seen Longlegs yet? Definitely. If you don't want to go to the movies to see it, definitely wait till streaming and check it out. I think it's well worth it. But make sure if you're watching it at home, you got the lights off, you're in a dark room, the sound's up. Make the sound nice and loud. Just saying, you're going to need it. I still got to see Maxine. I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard it's good, but not as good as people were hoping for. Late Night with the Devil. I know everybody was raving about it. I watched it and I did not care for it at all. I didn't care for it. I thought it was kind of boring. If you liked it, cool. I did not. Ashton, you're right. Trap and Deadpool Wolverine will be a fun double feature. It will. I'm hoping to see Trap on Thursday and then maybe go to the drive-ins to see Deadpool on Friday. And Nick Cage does need to play more villains. I also love Nick Cage in Willy's Wonderland also. Not that he was a villain, but Willy's Wonderland was a fun-ass movie that, I don't know, doesn't get talked about that much, but I think it was fun. I have a blast watching Willy's Wonderland. Probably because Nicolas Cage. Because Nicolas Cage is fantastic. And does nothing wrong, really. The concept for Late Night with the Devil had potential, but it didn't do much for me. Thank you, Dean. I'm not alone. People were hyping it up, and I watched it, and I was like, I don't get it. What am I missing? I don't understand. In a Violent Nature, I wanted to like that one, but that was also very boring. Except for the one kill. I won't spoil the kill, but if you've seen it, holy shit. Never seen anything like that before. Why we're getting another one, I don't know. But M. Night Shyamalan, I think he's going to deliver. I think he's going to deliver on Trap. I think it's going to be great. And I think Josh Hartnett, I'm glad to see him back. I always loved Josh Hartnett from way back, H2O, The Faculty. So excited to see him back. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan is a lot of misses, unfortunately. Knock at the Cabin was not good. I bought it. It was fine. I mean, I guess it wasn't not good. It was mid. But I bought it anyway. I'm a sucker for the steelbooks. You guys know this. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm wondering, Dean. Wonder what the big twist will be for End of Trap, because there wasn't even a twist in Knock at the Cabin. You kept waiting for the twist. And nothing happened. Nothing ever happened. So that was kind of. Oh, Jason from Backtrack Cinema. What's up, buddy? Oh, you're good, man. You are good. I appreciate you stopping in at all, my friend. Appreciate you stopping in at all. Yeah, Knock at the Cabin. You're right. Knock at the Cabin was good till the third act. Then it was kind of like, meh. And Shudder is putting all their shit out. You're right, dude, Jarrett. Shudder is putting their stuff on physical media, putting a lot of their stuff into theaters now, and it's all pretty much good. So, yeah. Blue, that is kind of disappointing. PG-13. Because I don't think there's going to be any killing. I don't think it's that kind of movie. I think Josh Hartnett does play, if you've seen the trailer, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I believe he plays like a serial killer, but I don't think this movie's going to be about the killing as per se as it is to getting him, caught and him escaping the trap. Nathan Mills, what's up, brother? I know you're a huge supporter of Sledgehammer Horror, so it's always nice to see a familiar face. What's up, buddy? A lot of movies to come. Alien Romulus, I want to see that. I'm excited to see what that's going to bring to the table. And then, yeah, Megan. I can't believe we're getting a Megan 2. I absolutely hated Megan, to be honest. And then we're getting another one. Why? And then they're like, somebody said, oh, Abigail was this year's Megan. I was like, no, it wasn't. Not even close. Abigail was bloody and gory and kills and fun. And Megan was just like, man, let's try to be Chucky, but not. Exactly. Megan 2 is totally unnecessary. Thank you. See? Just got done Kicking It with Ken. He was watching The Thing, huh? With Ghost Pirate. The Thing is fire. Speaking of The Thing, just got this steelbook of the thing the other day. Look at this puppy. So happy to grab this. I did not have a copy of the thing on steelbook yet. So I had to grab one. I know there's a bunch out there. That's the one I got. Very excited to have it. I'm a sucker for steelbooks, and I'm a sucker for physical media these days. My collection keeps growing, and my wife keeps saying, "Why do you keep buying more movies?" Yep, I'm sorry. Thanks, Ashton. I thought so too. That's why I had to have it. Raymond says Terrifier 3 comes out the day after my birthday. When's it come out? October 10th? October 11th? Something like that? I'm not the biggest fan of Terrifier 1 or 2, to be honest. But I don't know. I'm willing to watch Terrifier 3, of course. What, Jamie? You like that? I thought this was so cool. Well, of course, it's not an American release of the movie. Look at McCready in there. Look at that. I had to get... This thing is nice. So excited to find that out there and to grab it. I try to grab as many different, steelbooks as I can. Especially the ones that are... Definitely the ones that are limited, that are hard to come by. They're gonna be worth money down the line. That's what my wife doesn't understand. This stuff maybe not be worth money right now, but it will be. Like all those Halloween steelbooks and stuff that just came out. And there's only so many of those in the world, so you got to pick them up while you get them. But this was a fun stream. I had a blast. The turnout was great. 29 likes on the video. Oh my gosh, one away from 30. Wonder if I can get 30 in the next 2 minutes before I log off here. That was my Friday the 13th. Aaron Click's late. Aaron Click, is he going to be my 30? He just popped in, unless you already clicked the like button. Aaron, if you didn't click the like button, click that like button for me, buddy. Right now. Click it. It's almost a 30. It's so close. I wasn't a big fan of Terrifier, but I love Terrifier 2, one of the best final girls. Yeah, I got too crazy, though, with the magic and the sword. I don't know what the hell was going on. 30, there it is. 30 likes on the stream tonight, guys. I know I'm not one of the big boys. I know I don't get the big numbers like Cody Leach and Lee and whatever. But it means a lot. It was a good stream tonight. I can't wait to see if I can do more of these for you guys and see what the reception is. Like I said, let me know your Friday the 13th ranking down below if you're feeling crazy. Thanks everybody who hung out in the chat. It was a blast. If you didn't already, hit the like on the way out. And if you're watching after the fact, how bad did Rotten Tomatoes get this? I need to know. Let me know down in the comments section. Join me down there and we could talk about it in a friendly manner. It's a Vente. It's 20. It's the only one that doesn't mean it. No, I'm just kidding. But I look forward to hanging out with you guys again. Next week should be a double feature week. I think Monday should be doing I Know What You Did Last Summer for my Camp Slasher Watch Long series. And Tuesday, hopefully doing X. So back-to-back next week. Finish up that series, get the ranking out, see what won. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Friday the 13th should be alive and well, but people messed it up. Fighting over the rights, you sons of bitches. But hopefully it comes back sooner than later because we need Jason in our lives. We need a new Friday the 13th movie. And we can't live without it. And when you have this in a...
Hit me with the phone, Dick!
You have Billy throwing a phone at Mark and hitting him down those steps before Jason can hit him with the machete. It's just out of control. But I'm out of here for tonight, guys. Appreciate all the support for the stream. Peace out. Happy Friday the 13th. I'm just kidding. It's not even Friday. It's Tuesday. See ya.